right, we're all present and accounted for, and here we are ready to start another backroom event. First up, I want to thank everyone who's come tonight. I always think it's true for a real world book event and also for our backroom events. There's a million other things that people could be doing, but the fact that you chose to come here tonight and hear these wonderful authors, we really appreciate it, and I know we're all going to have a wonderful time. For those who aren't familiar, don't know me, my name is Karen Dion. And I and Hank Philippi Ryan co-founded the Backroom 3 years ago, and we've been hosting 2 events a month ever since. So, yes, I'm Karen Dion, and for those who don't know me, I write psychological suspense set in Michigan's Upper Peninsula wilderness. I live in Michigan, and so that's turned out to be a good place for me to set my books. My 2 novels, The Marsh King's Daughter and The Wicked Sister, have both been international bestsellers and published in a lot of languages. And, yes, Marsh King's Daughter is going to be a major motion picture. Now, on to the introductions for our author guests. I'm going to do this alphabetically. So May Cobb, you're up first. May Cobb is the award-winning author of The Hunting Wives, My Summer Darlings, and Big Woods. The Hunting Wives was a Book of the Month Club selection, an Amazon editor's pick, and has been optioned for film and TV. My Summer Darlings was also an Amazon editor's pick and was named Best Summer Thriller by the Today Show, and is one of Oprah Daly's best summer reads. Like her previous novel, her most recent thriller, A Likeable Woman, which published July 11, that's like what, less than a week ago? Congratulations. Thanks. Yeah. This book, A Likeable Woman, is set in the lush, eerie, piney woods of East Texas, where she's originally from. Oprah Daly wrote, "Bring on the backyard Chardonnay and rich, nasty housewives of East Texas, gossipy, glamorous, and hair-raising." And there it is. Yes, A Likeable Woman. I don't know. Sounds like she might be unlikable, but we'll find out when we talk to you more in the breakout rooms. Now we have Samantha Downing. She's the author of the best-selling My Lovely Wife, which was nominated for the Edgar, ITW Thriller Award, Macavity Awards in the US, the CWA Award in the UK, and it was the winner of the Prix de Lettres, is that how you say it? Award in France.
I think so.
Man, talk about just hitting it out of the park. First time out, right? That's so amazing. Your second book, He Started It, was released in 2020 and became an instant international bestseller. Her third thriller, For Your Own Good, came out the following year and was also an instant US Today bestseller. Her new book, A Twisted Love Story, do you have it there? Hold it up for us. Thank you. A Twisted Love Story will be released in the US on July 18. So yes, congratulations. That's Tuesday, right around the corner. Katie Couric Media wrote, I'm obsessed with everything Samantha Downing writes. She's truly the master of twisty thrillers. That's pretty awesome. So yes, we're happy to have you here tonight.
Thank you.
Senator Givhan is a Mexican-American and indigenous poet and novelist from the Southwestern Desert, and she's the recipient of the Southwest Book Award along with fellowships from the National Endowment for the Arts and Penn Rosenthal Emerging Voices. I had to shorten her bio because we would have been here all evening, but you have so many wonderful poetry credits and awards and honors, and I'm just in awe of anyone who can write poetry. But Jennifer, or Jen, is here tonight for her latest novel, River Woman, River Demon. This book was chosen for Amazon's book club and as a national Together We Read library pick and was featured on CBS Morning. It's been out for a little while, published last October, but that doesn't mean it's not an exciting book. You definitely should check it out. Kirkus Reviews gave it a starred review, and those of you who are familiar with Kirkus know that they do not give out stars very often. So Jen got one of those rare starred reviews from Kirkus. They said it's a murder mystery with organic roots in the otherworldly. There are all the expected thrills and chills as well as some unexpected ones, but the real gift here is Givhan's command of language. Sharp as glass shards and lush as the desert after the rain, the writing is the true magic here. Very awesome. And no surprise coming from a poet, right? Of course, the language matters to you. And finally, Wendy Hurd is our fourth author. She writes suspense and thrillers for adults and teens, including You Can Trust Me, We'll Never Tell, The Kill Club, She's Too Pretty to Burn, and Dead End Girls, which I think are all fantastic titles. When I was reading this, I was like, wow, who makes up your titles? Is it you? Oh, you're muted, Wendy. You can unmute yourself here.
Sometimes it's a joint effort between the team. You know how it goes.
Yes, right. Well, they're awesome. And Wendy is from California. She spent most of her life in Los Angeles, which is on fire more than she would honestly prefer, and can also be found haunting local hiking trails and bookstores. Probably bookstores, air-conditioned bookstores at the moment, right? Not too many.
That's right.
Not too many hiking trails going on. Wendy's newest, You Can Trust Me, published June 13 of this year. And People magazine calls it a thriller with a sharp take on wealth and privilege. So that's just such a quick overview of these wonderful authors and their new books. Once we're all in the breakout rooms, we can ask them all the questions we like about it. But right now, we're going to play a quick game of not quite 20 questions. Jen, you're up first. What's one thing you've always wanted to try, but you've been too scared to do?
Well, the first thing that came to me was in terms of writing. And I was just at an event earlier today where I was talking about the difference between my poetry and my prose or my novels is that I have to be concerned about plot in my novels. But I've got this idea running around in my head that not the next book, because I already have an idea for the next book, but the one after that, I'm going to try a plotless novel, like, not traditional plot, because as a poet, I sometimes feel like plot is just like the albatross around my neck. And I want to see if, I really just let my poet self loose on the page in a novel, what that would look like.
That sounds very intriguing. I would very much like to see what comes of that. That's
Me
awesome.
too. I'm scared. It's scary, but that's
there you go. Wendy, what's the best thing that happened to you today?
Oh, wow. Well, I guess I got to hang out with my kid. She's between trips for the summer, so we got to spend some time together.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Where can you tell us what her trips are?
Well, she just came back from visiting her dad, and she's just going with a friend to the East Coast. So she had a little window in between.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. I thought maybe it might be someplace like super exotic, but
nowhere too exotic.
East Coast is nice too.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Samantha, when do you feel the most creative?
Early in the morning, very early in the morning. I get up about 4 and that's when I write.
Okay. I was going to say I'm with you, but not at 4 o'clock.
Well, that's happened. I just moved from New Orleans to California. So with the time change in California, it wasn't 4. Now it's 4. So it used to be more like 6. So
well, talk about, like a nice, nobody else is up, I assume, so you've got the world to yourself at that hour. Awesome.
Still dark outside.
Nice. May, what's the most adventurous thing you've ever done?
Oh my goodness. Wow, that's just gonna stump me. The most adventurous thing.
I mean, it could be riding the subway in New York, it doesn't have to be perfectly.
Yeah. Oh, maybe like, I don't know, maybe jumping on a plane to London when I was like in my early 20s to research this jazz musician that I'm obsessed with sort of not like a big plan or anything or really any money, but just this desire. That was pretty crazy or adventurous.
Yeah, no kidding. Sounds cool. There's so many things, but I really appreciate all of your answers. And so the authors tonight, in addition to being good sports about asking or answering these questions, they brought a book that they recommend reading, because authors, sure, we write books, but we love to read books. So Jen, let's start with you. What is your book recommendation for us?
It's Jackal by Aaron E. Adams, and it's up on the screen. I just moved to Albuquerque, so I don't have it's packed away still. But I love this one because, like much of my work, it blends elements of a little bit of horror, magical realism with thriller, and it's multi-genre, but I think it's probably, Jack was probably billed as horror, but I would say that it's much more thriller. And one of the things that I love about it, so it's about girls in the South, Black girls specifically in the South, that are disappearing, and their disappearances are not being widely broadcast and certainly not solved by the police. And a young woman who is Black comes back home after being away and is enmeshed in the disappearance of a young Black girl that recalls a very eerie incident from her past. And she has to reckon with that as she's trying to help find this girl who's gone missing. And again, there are elements of the monstrous involved in ways that very organically knit together real world socio-political issues and issues of racism and things like that, where, you know, missing white women are, their cases are solved much more readily than Black girls and women. And so that's at the forefront of this book, but it never feels preachy. It feels like very organic, just in the way that it's knit together, beautifully written by Erin E. Adams. I highly recommend it.
That's awesome. And this is what I love about these book recommendations. It's a book I'd never heard of. It wasn't on my radar. Now it is. So thank you for that. Wendy, what book are you recommending?
I'm recommending The Hurricane Blonde by Hallie Sutton. I have an e-galley of this, not a print copy. It comes out on August 8th. I'm recommending this one because I think if you liked my You Can Trust Me, you will enjoy this book. It's set in Los Angeles, and it kind of it's about a girl whose movie star sister was murdered back in the 90s, and she's now investigating a different murder that has a lot of similarities to her sister's. And it really goes into like the industry and the just the gross way that child stars are treated. And it's got a lot in there about like wealth and privilege and what certain men get away with and those types of themes. So I think if you liked You Can Trust Me, my newest thriller, you will really like The Hurricane Blonde coming out in August.
Nice. Thank you so much for that. And it's Hank mentions in the chat, we'll post the titles and the authors' recommendations in a minute. So if people are scrambling to write these down, no worry, we'll make sure you have the information. Samantha, what book are you recommending that everyone read?
I recommended The Drowning Woman by Robin Harding. And Robin Harding, to me, is one of the most daring thriller writers out there. She writes about very small subsets of our population. She wrote a book about a woman who was a sugar baby. She wrote about two couples who swapped partners. And this book is about a woman who has just become homeless and lives in her car. And she makes these into these amazing thrillers. She's someone that really goes out on a limb with her writing, because any of these could go very sideways, and for a writer can be catastrophic if you have a book where that you really take a chance on and it fails. And so I really admire what she does, and that she's willing to just go out on a limb in every book that she writes. And she's a great writer, so the books are good.
Yeah, thank you. That's awesome. Thank you. May, what book should everybody read?
Yes, I'm recommending Girls and Their Horses by Eliza Jane Brazier. I absolutely love this book. It's set in this posh area of Southern California, and it's about the competitive world of show jumping. And it's just like juicy, nasty, toxic mother-daughter relationships, mean girls, with, you know, a strong suspense elements. And I got to read it early. It came out like in June, and I sort of compared it to Big Little Lies meets Dallas. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
Wasn't that fun? We hope you enjoyed this taste of what a backroom event is like. The best part comes immediately after, when the audience is divided into 4 breakout rooms and the authors visit each room in turn. We'd love to show you what a breakout session is like, because these relaxed face-to-face conversations between authors and readers are the hallmark of our backroom events. But breakout sessions are never recorded. What's said in the backroom stays in the backroom.